When you take the decision to join the armed forces of this country, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the list is endless, you take an oath to defend this country and serve Her Majesty the Queen. Certain things are expected of you, and yes, depending on where you get sent to, it could be very risky for your own well being. But this is part of the understanding when you put on the uniform. And I read stories sometimes about soldiers that come out and have a problem with the MOD, and I wonder, is there more to it? I'll tell you this one, and then you can tell me what you think. How do everyone? Welcome back to the channel for a Monday. Hope you're doing all right. Let me know how your day's gone in the comments below. Mine's not been too bad actually. Bit of children's football, a nice dinner, and a walk around the shops. So nice end to the day. Yeah, so I was looking at this whole British Army thing. You know, I have a long line of service in my family, and I unfortunately broke the mould. I drive a taxi for a living. But my father was in the army. My grandfather, well, both my grandfathers were in the army. One of my grandfather's brothers were in the army as well, and it goes back a few generations. And talking to my father a long time ago, you were literally broken down. You go into boot camp, as they call it in America, or basic training here, and you are broken down into your basic parts. You are ripped to shreds, and you are built back in the image that they want you to be. Particularly, you know, a lot of young kids go into the army at the age of 17 and 18, and it's a lot easier to, you know, mould them into the future fighting man or woman that you want them to be. And they go out and they serve, and some of them with distinction and some of them for a lot of years. But as the years roll by and we get into, you know, this period of political correctness and, oh, you can't do that because it would offend somebody. You know, 40 years ago, if you didn't wash every day, you'd be thrown in a bath at 4 o'clock in the morning and scrubbed with a bass broom. You did that today, you'd be in court on charges. It's that sort of thing. It's just completely changed. And I read stories about some soldiers, and I wonder, is this a failure in training? Is this a failure in upkeep, a failure in supplied equipment? It could be any number of things. Have a look at this. Chalesha Mawaba as an armoured vehicle engineer in the British Army at the point in time that this story is produced, where it came from. He joined the army in 2009 and was initially posted to a unit which provided guards and sentries for Her Majesty the Queen. A lot of them still do, the old red uniforms and the big black hats. Well, he decided he had enough of that and, you know, got transferred to another regiment. Hence, he found himself in the position he was in, an armoured vehicle technician. In 2017, he got stationed to Estonia, posted out there, where it was very, very, very cold. And as a result of being out in these conditions for a prolonged amount of time, he's now claiming that he suffered cold-related injuries, which have caused disabilities, and it's produced a very, very bad stutter or stammer, as well as PTSD. Now, Mr. Mawaba had a stammer anyway, of his own admission, but it apparently has made this situation a lot worse since this happened in Estonia. Naturally, he is now out of the army. Well, he's attempting to sue the MOD for £860,000. The grounds being that the injuries he sustained and the worsening of his speech impediment has meant that his employment prospects in the civilian world are heavily reduced. The MOD is saying Yes, okay, we'll hold our hands up. We'll admit that will cause some cold-related injuries. Now, that to me says a failure of the proper equipment and a failure of a proper duty of care of this soldier. I may be wrong, it's just my opinion. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but that's what it appears to me. But they're saying that we will not accept responsibility for your worsening stammer, and you have to show firm evidence before we actually go down that route and admit that as well. I mean, this £860,000 is taxpayers' money, but at the end of the day, where does the fault lie? With Mr. Mwaba or the MOD? Did the MOD fail him, or is Mr. Mwaba trying to pull a flanker? You let me know what you think in the comments below. Purely open for debate. I can see both sides of the situation from little bit of knowledge I have of the difference in standards of training and equipment provided to British Army soldiers now compared with many years ago. Go for it. Let me know what you think, and I'll be with another one soon. Toodaloo.